Coach, tell us about myasthenic disease.
Messianic disease. Messianic disease, you heard me use this a lot, and really Messianic disease is about people not wanting to lead themselves, and they like to be led. And so usually when there is a charlatan, and charlatan is a person who really has the eloquence of speech, they know how to talk, and they have charisma, they can draw in people. And a lot of times the charlatans don't really have anything. This is the phenomena that people that have this disease, they need to be led instead of being the thing that's inside themselves so they can lead themselves. This is why the famous motivational speaker, Tony Robbins, said that I'm not your guru. I had the benefit in my life to listen to Tony Robbins live 3 times in my life. And he always says, I tell you the things that you're supposed to already know. So the thing is that he's just trying to poke you so you can unlock the keys that's already in you, the leader that's in you.
So it's required work, that you work on yourself. You just don't take his words and you just follow whatever ever he said. You have to put some work, on yourself.
Well, the point that I'm saying about the Messianic disease is that, number one, you shouldn't fall into it. Everybody has unique and special beneficial qualities that we all can pull from and benefit from. And that's what you need to discover within yourself instead of looking for the easy way to follow someone. Now, following someone in and of itself is not wrong. But when you take them to the level of demigod, where I'm going to shut my brain off and I'm just going to blindly follow this individual, this person has the keys to life. And in this day and age, especially in the last, I would say, 20 years, there's been a lot of these gurus and these self-made charlatans that try to give you words that are really attractive. And you've met them, I've met them, and somebody says, oh my God, it's just like, oh man, everything you got to listen to this guy and nothing else. As if the guy just fell out the sky, as if he's a prophet. And it comes in the form of religion, it comes in the form of sports, entertainment, news, information.
Coach, what do your coach mean to you, your coaches?
This is a hard one. Inshallah, I can keep my composure, but my coaches mean a lot to me, and that is nothing, I'm not putting my coaches above my father, my uncles, and the men in my family, because they all had an important role in my life as well. But my coaches were able to do something to me that, first and foremost, I couldn't do to myself. They taught me something I didn't know, a skill, a technique, a strategy. More importantly, they taught me a way of thinking. They took me to places in training that I wouldn't allow myself to get to, because that's how humans are. When we feel pain or we feel discomfort, we kind of move away from it. But my coaches were able to push me to the point that, I think I said this in another video, when I was in the locker room before a game or even before a race, when I ran track, I'm excited. I'm not moved by fear. And that little piece of doubt, or that little piece of fear, or that little piece of question mark, it was small. And soon as, if it was a football game, soon as I got my first hit, or as soon as I touched the ball, it disappeared. I was a silent player. I wasn't a player that was talked a lot and was a showboater. I let my actions do the talking for me. So inside, I was a raging lion. I was a gorilla beating on his chest inside. I was just there, and my coaches did that to me. I remember my coach one day, when I got the news I was going to redshirt, meaning I'm going to practice and I'm not going to play my freshman year. I knew that was the course, but just to hear it, it makes you feel a certain way.
Right.
So all of my energy, my effort in practice kind of took a downfall. Well, I'm not going to play, so I'll just go through practice.
Right.
One day I get the ball, I run through the hole, and a safety, one of our really hard-hitting safeties, came in and pow, hit me really hard. And I didn't fall, and my coach just looked at me. He said, I can't say what he said, but he said basically, you're playing soft. You know, you're playing soft.
Yeah.
And when he said that, it turned on me. And that just sparked something in me. Our linebacker at the time was, I think, he was a middle linebacker. He was a 2-time all-conference linebacker. I ran him over at 165 pounds. Ran him clean over, okay? Our starting cornerback. This is all in the same practice. I ran him over. And the coach is like, what happened to you? Hey, man, you turned that key on, man. You turned it on. This same thing happened. It's crazy. It happened in high school, my sophomore year. We had another linebacker who was all conference. This was his senior year. This is my sophomore year. And I had a good friend named Andre Colt. We trained together. We were really good, close friends. He told me, you got to show that you deserve to be on the field. And see, when your friends talk to you seriously, if they're your real friends, it inspires you if you're a real friend. And it inspired me. It turned me on. And so I got the ball. Bow! Ran him over. Got the ball again. Bam! Ran him over. To where whenever I had the ball in practice, I shut him down. He wouldn't give me full effort. I took that all-conference spirit he had, I took it away when it came to me and him. And here I was, the smallest guy on the field.
I remember you told me a story about driving 2 a.m. around your coach house, wants to do something to him. What was all about?
I had a young, fiery coach. He's now the head coach of University of Idaho, Paul Petrino. Coach Paul Petrino, or Coach Petrino, we used to call him. A guy that if he saw weakness in your character, he's going to press on the gas. Because it's a game that every time you step on that field, it might be the last time. You might not make it out, whether it's practice or the game. My words of what he was doing to me is like, if you're going to make a sword, you got to put it in the fire. So he got under my skin so much sometimes. And like, again, I wasn't a talker. I came from a strict home. So I knew I had to respect my elders. I had to respect my coaches. There were athletes on the team that used to argue with him. I know one that fought with him. Actually, that's a whole nother story about Coach Petrino. It's a crazy story. He was a quarterback. And he was a running quarterback. And he had all kind of injuries like I have now because he was a running quarterback. He sacrificed his body for his team to win. It wasn't always throwing. He gonna run it. So he had a father who was one of the most famous college football coaches in history, Coach Petrino Sr. He's not senior, but the oldest Petrino from Carroll College. He's one of the most winningest coaches. And he had the reputation of, he will break you in practice. Why? Because he only wants warriors on that team. He can't have no weak ones on there. You got to weed them out. Coach Petrino came from that philosophy. So if he saw a weakness in you, he would push on it. And another thing that would make us angry, us running backs, was we were single back offense. You can't miss a block. You can't fumble. You can't drop a pass in practice. If you drop a pass or fumble, you got 5 sprints. The width of the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 per drop. So it raised the bar of expectation in practice because you practice like you play. If you go hard in practice, you're going to be able to go hard in the game. If you don't go hard, you know, it's a question mark. So that's why he drove me to the point that I used to get angry. I would get in my car. I couldn't sleep. I get in my car and I'd be driving around his block thinking of stuff to do to him. And, you know, before I take it in, I was like, what am I doing? And just go back home. But the guy, because of what he did for me, I love him to death, man. I really do. To this day, what he did to me is what I think a lot of athletes need, a lot of people need.
So basically, nowadays, a lot of athletes that they disagree with their coaches or they think that they know better. How do you feel about that? I feel that an athlete should literally surrender to his coach, you know, to extract the best of him, you know, to see his full potential and drive him to it.
If you want to get the most out of a coach, you do have to surrender. Let's see, being an athlete, one of the most important characteristics of being an athlete is being coachable.
Right.
And professional athletes in team sports, one of the things, and in individual sports, especially combat sports, one thing that the trainer or the coach wants to know is this guy coachable?
How do they define that?
Meaning, does he accept coaching? How does he receive coaching? So this is an important aspect. On the other side of it, or to say additionally on to the guys who argue with their coach, they don't have the experience. They're trying to get there. The coach, if he's a real coach, he's been there already. He's been there. He knows how to get to first place. He knows how to be a champion. So it's unfortunate for guys that aren't coachable. It's unfortunate because you're not going to reach your potential. Now, if a guy is pretending to be a coach and he's not, maybe there's valid reasons for him to challenge his coach. But really, every day, if you have a real coach, every day is a learning experience. Every day is something new. Everything, whether it's even words, you might be doing the same thing, but the words aren't the same. The lessons are more. It's value every single day. And I noticed that Coach Petrino, Coach Smith, and I don't want to leave out, I have a lot of coaches to name, you know, Nick Holt, Arnie Young in high school, my offensive line coach in high school, I can't think of his name, who also taught psychology. He was another one. He liked to set triggers in you. He was a motivator. Bob Kersey. Bob Kersey is a perfectionist. I was only in middle school. Junior high school. Perfectionist. I tell you to run 28 second, 200 meters. I want it 28 seconds, not 21, not 29, not 27. And don't race. And you're going to run side by side. Don't race. Run, control your body, run the 200 meters in 28 seconds. Stride control, breathing control. Our warm-ups alone at Drake Stadium is a workout for most guys. And it's just warm-ups. And I was doing that in junior high school. So these coaches in my life, man, they gave me jewels. Really, jewels.
You said a quote on Instagram that said, "Are you facing your problems or cry about them?"
Are you facing your problems or do you cry about them? Yeah. Because in life, everybody is going to have a problem. We're all going to have problems. Okay? The question is, what do you do when you have a problem? We're human. Yes, we might cry, we might sulk, but at the end of the day, we got to move.
Right.
You got to do something. You have to ask yourself, even if the problem was 100% out of your hand, what can you do about the problem? Going back and reviewing the problem and the steps that led to the problem, is there anything that you could have done better? See, my mother taught me a lesson. You can't control people, but you can control yourself. So, that lesson to me is what? When I face a problem, even let's say I have no guilt in the problem. I'm a victim. But I'm still going to look. What could I have done? What can I do? And what can I do to fix this problem? You know, and maybe the audience doesn't know, and we'll talk about this another time, but, you know, my life was literally turned upside down. Literally. Alhamdulillah. One time I was talking to my mother. And another time I was talking to my father, but I said the same things. I said, look, I'm on the bottom. My back is against the wall. I'm in a corner. Anybody who wants to keep me at the bottom, or anyone who wants to keep me in this corner, I'm swinging. Because I know if you're already down, there's only one way to go, and that's up. And that's the point. If you have a problem, what do you do about it? Do you just sit there and cry about it? Because you're already at the bottom. There's only one way to go, is up. Me saying that was like an epiphany, because all of the things that I learned from religion and what I learned from my coaches, and it all came to a moment that said, hey, you're at the bottom. Tell the people that's closest to you that love you that you recognize that you're at the bottom. To remind them that I know that I'm at the bottom. And anyone who's going to hold me back, I'm swinging. Meaning, I'm not going to allow you to keep me down. Anyone. Because I'm already there. So whoever wants to keep me there is an enemy to me. So I have to swing on them. And I'm not making that in a literal sense. I'm saying in a metaphorical sense. And I wasn't talking specifically to my parents. I just had to tell because they're the closest to me.
Right. In another quote, he said, no matter what you go, you cannot hide from yourself.
Yes. Wherever you go, there you are.
There you are, yeah.
You can't hide from yourself. You can fake it till you make it, but when reality really comes and hits you, what are you going to do? And see, what happens is you see people don't like situations in their life or scenarios in their life, or they may have a problem in their life, and they say, well, you know what? I'm in Jeddah, I'm going to move to Riyadh. I'm in Saudi, I'm going to move to America.
It's not a solution.
It could be, but if the problem is centered around you, wherever you go, there you are. You can hide all you want, but you still got to deal with you.
Right.
You still got to deal with you.
Right.
So changing the scenery is not going to change the person all the time. Now, we have a lesson in our religion about a person who killed 99 people. And when he went to who he thought was a wise religious man, he said, I want redemption. Is there redemption for me? He said, no. So he killed him, made him the 100th. So he went to another wise man. And what did he asked that wise man. He said, yes, but you need to go over there. What's the difference between that scenario and what we're talking about? The difference is this. He made the change. Once he made the change, he could change the location. Yeah. And that change required what? That he be around people that was like him. But when people don't change, but they change the scenario, wherever you go, there you are.
You have a lot of passion for football, man. Where did it come from? Tell us about the effect of football in your life.
Man, I'm telling you, bro, I'm not trying to cry on camera. I don't want to. But it's that deep. It's really that deep. And the reason why it's that deep is because the relationship between football in my life and Islam is married together. And why do I say that? Because no one could have predicted, no one would have known that I was going to get a scholarship to the University of Idaho, that I would take anthropology as a major initially, that I would do a research paper on Islam, and it resonated to me to the point that when I read those books that came from this country, that I said, this is my faith. So no one could have predicted that. It was my destiny. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is the lessons that I got in football reflect in life. Knowing before acting. And once you know, you should have not kibr or pride, confidence. Once you know, you should have confidence. Not arrogance, not pride, but confidence. And with confidence, you can do a lot of things. Fear is the antithesis or the enemy of confidence. Doubt is the enemy of confidence. You see, football taught me, because of how dangerous it is and how the pressure, I already said it, my coaches put me through, that when I stepped on the field, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. I'm not worried about the win or the lose. I'm worried about what I got to do. And that's it. That transfers to life. Knowing and having confidence, you develop a passion for what you want to do. And you set out the steps to do it. And any obstacle, it's football, man. Lower your shoulder, rip through, hit and spin, juke. Hey, maybe you're going to get down one time. Maybe you're going to lose yards. But you ain't going to stop. Montana State versus University of Idaho, 1995. 31 carries, 116 yards. I had an asthma attack in that game. There's no way, when I watched the film, that it was me. Sometimes I say, how you did that? And there's a lot of videos like that. I don't know how I did it. I just did it because I was confident and I didn't have no fear. And I went out there and did it. And we lost the game. But I never stopped trying to win the game. I never stopped trying to win the game. And I've never stopped trying to win in life. And that's what football did to me, is don't be a loser. Because people choose to lose. Losing the game is not losing. It's how you play the game. The score might not be in your favor. The score might not be in your favor. You might not win the fight. He might outpoint you. But if you gave your all, if you rode on confidence, if you rode on your ability, if you rode on your knowledge, what happens in the end, it doesn't matter. You won because that's the best you. And that's all that I learned from football. And I'm not saying that I measure up all the time. I'm human. But what I'm saying is, I know that I have to be the best me. That's what football taught me, to be the best me, to challenge myself. Don't fall into the weakness. Push yourself. And there's times I did, but there was a coach there screaming down my neck. There was a coach there screaming down my neck, telling me either to push forward or why did you punk out like that? You're better than that. And this stays with me. And you can't tell me that you cannot find the ayat in the Quran and the hadith that's in Islam that say the same. Maybe not specifically in verbatim, word by word, no. But the meaning is there. A man in Islam should be confident, should know his religion, should know the roadmap to navigate this dunya. And with that comes confidence. Not fear, not doubt, not misery, not hazan. So that's what I can say. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go there, because I know when I get emotional, I'm not going to be able to say what I want to say.